Accept my doll in exchange for a plate of food. It's all I have, said the poor girl. Michael Peterson felt his legs tremble as he saw the worn-out doll the child was holding out to him. The world stopped for a few seconds in the small diner in the Newtown neighborhood of Sanders as he tried to process what his eyes were seeing. Will you take my doll for a plate of food? It's all I have, repeated the girl with messy brown hair, unaware of how her words had just shaken the 47-year-old man standing before her. Michael swallowed hard, his throat tightening. That rag doll, with its faded blue dress and one slightly loose arm, was identical to the one his daughter Sophie used to carry everywhere 5 years ago. No, not identical. It was the exact same one. He knew every detail of that toy, which he had bought at a second-hand store when Sophie turned 4. Where did you get this doll? He asked hoarsely, trying to keep his composure. The girl looked down, swinging her bare feet against the cold floor of the diner. It was my mum's. She gave it to me before she left to work far away. Michael's heart raced. Sophie had also been 4 when Lucy, his ex-wife, disappeared with their daughter after discovering the gambling debts he had piled up. Back then, he had been so addicted to betting that he had even pawned his wedding ring. Lucy had tried to help him many times, but when she found out he had used Sophie's school money to bet on a horse race, she simply vanished in the middle of the night, taking only a few clothes and that doll their daughter never let go of. "What's your name?" he asked, trying to control the anxiety rising in his chest. "Isabella, but everyone calls me Izzy." It wasn't Sophie. Relief and disappointment tangled confusingly in Michael's mind. But that doll? How was it possible? "How old are you, Izzy?" "I'll be 9 soon. Grandma says when I turn 9, Mommy will come back." Michael's throat tightened. If Sophie were alive, she would be exactly 9 now. The math lined up in a disturbing way he couldn't ignore. "Come here, you can keep the doll. I'll give you food without you having to give anything in return," he said, heading to the kitchen with unsteady steps. As he prepared a plate of spaghetti with tomato sauce, Michael watched the girl through the kitchen mirror. She held the doll close to her chest, whispering to it as if it were her best friend. That was exactly what Sophie used to do. Dear listener, if you're enjoying the story, don't forget to like and especially subscribe to the channel. It helps us a lot as we're just starting out. Now, continuing. "Here you go," he said, placing the steaming plate on the scratched Formica table. Izzy ate with a hunger that broke the heart of anyone watching. Michael couldn't stop staring at the doll, which was propped up on the chair beside her. "Izzy, where do you live? Where do you—" "With Grandma Rose in a little rented house on the back street. But Grandma's sick and can't work. That's why I come to ask for food." "And your mum? When did she leave?" The girl stopped eating and looked at the doll. "A long time ago. I was really little. Grandma says Mommy had to go work in a faraway city to get money for us. She used to send money every month, but now she can't anymore." "What's your mum's name?" "Lucy. Lucy Sanders." The ground seemed to drop beneath Michael's feet. Lucy had changed her name. Sanders was her maiden name. And if Lucy was really Lucy, then Isabella could be... "Izzy, do you remember anything from when you were really little? Maybe a different house, or a man who lived with you?" The girl shook her head, focused on her food. "Grandma says it's better not to dwell on the past, that what matters is to look ahead." Michael served more food onto the girl's plate, trying to sort through his thoughts. There were so many possibilities. Maybe it was just a macabre coincidence. Maybe Lucy had given Sophie's doll to another child. Or maybe... "Izzy, can I meet your grandma? She doesn't like visitors, says people ask too many questions. What if I just brought some groceries, so you two don't go without?" The girl thought for a moment, chewing slowly. "I don't think she'd like that, but I can ask." When Izzy finished eating, Michael wrapped some bread and cookies in a bag. "Take this to your grandma, and come back tomorrow, okay? There's always food here for you." The girl smiled for the first time, hugging the doll tighter. "Thank you, Mr. Michael. Lily said thank you too." "Lily? That's my doll's name. Mummy said I always had to take good care of Lily because she's special." A chill ran down Michael's spine. Sophie had also named her doll, but he couldn't remember what it was. The details of those last days before Lucy left were blurred in his memory. tangled with the anguish of addiction and the guilt that consumed him. After Izzy left, Michael stood by the window, watching until she disappeared around the corner. The Home Flavor diner was empty, as it had been most days these past few months. The regulars had slowly vanished as the food lost its care, and he lost interest in the business. Ever since Lucy and Sophie were gone, nothing made sense anymore. He tried to focus on the day's tasks, but the image of the doll wouldn't leave his mind. He needed to uncover the truth, but he also feared what he might find. What if Isabella really was Sophie? What if Lucy had changed their daughter's name to protect her from him? What if she told the girl her father had died? The next day, Izzy showed up again at lunchtime. This time, she brought a poorly drawn picture on crumpled paper. "I made this for you," she said, handing it over. It was a drawing of a family, a woman, a girl, and a man, all smiling, holding hands. "Who are these people, Izzy?" "It's me, Grandma, and you, because you're nice to me." Michael's chest tightened. There was no father in the family Izzy had drawn. "What about your dad? Where is he?" "Grandma said he left before I was born. That he wasn't a good person." The words cut like a blade. If Izzy really was Sophie, Lucy had made their daughter believe her father had abandoned her before she was even born. It was cruel but effective, keeping the child from the truth about his gambling. "Izzy, would you let me meet your grandma? I promise I'll be polite and won't ask annoying questions." The girl hesitated. "She's really sick today. She coughed a lot this morning." "All the more reason. Maybe I can help somehow." After much insistence, Izzy agreed to take Michael to her home. They walked 3 blocks to a narrow street, lined with small attached houses. Theirs was the second to last on the street, with peeling paint and a rusted iron gate. "Grandma, I brought a visitor," Izzy called as she pushed open the wooden door. Michael waited in the small dirt yard, eyeing the clothes hanging on the line and the wilted plants in pots. Everything spoke of simplicity and hardship. When the grandmother appeared at the door, Michael had to steady himself against the wall. It was Rose Smith, the woman who had worked as a cleaner in his home for 2 years, right when his marriage to Lucy was crumbling because of his gambling. "Michael Peterson," Rose said, her voice cold as ice. "I knew you'd show up eventually." Michael's heart pounded so hard, he was sure everyone could hear it. "Rose, did you know who I was when Izzy started coming to the restaurant?" "I did. And I knew that one day your curiosity would be stronger than your shame." Izzy looked from one to the other, confused by the tension in the air. "Do you two know each other?" "Mr. Peterson was my boss a long time ago, sweetheart," said Rose, motioning for them to come inside. The house was small and simple, but clean and tidy. In the tiny living room, there was only an old couch, a small TV, and a few photographs on the shelf. Michael glanced discreetly at the pictures, searching for some clue, but they all seemed to be of Izzy at different ages. "Rose, I need to know, is Izzy—" "Sit down. I'll make some coffee," Rose interrupted, cutting off the question. "Izzy, go play in the yard for a bit." When they were alone, Rose sat on the couch and stared at Michael with tired eyes. "You want to know if she's your daughter, don't you?" "The doll. It's the same doll Sophie had. Lucy gave it to me when they left." "So Izzy is Sophie?" Rose took a deep breath. "No. Izzy is my real granddaughter. My daughter Lucy's child. Not the same Lucy you knew." Michael felt a mix of relief and confusion. "But the doll, Lucy came to me before she left town, or she knew I had a little granddaughter who needed love. She gave me the doll and asked me to care for it, as if it were Sophie's." "Where are they now?" "I don't know. Lucy said they were starting a new life far from here. She made me promise never to tell you they'd been here. But you're telling me now, because you're not the same man you were 5 years ago. I saw how you treated Izzy, asking nothing, expecting nothing in return. The Michael I knew wouldn't have done that." Dear listener, if you're enjoying the story, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. It really helps those of us just starting out. Now, back to the story. Rose explained she had stopped working for Michael soon after Lucy and Sophie disappeared because she couldn't bear to see his despair. Back then, she was already caring for Izzy, who whose mother had gone to Chicago to work as a hospital cleaner, promising to return in a few months. That was 3 years ago. Lucy sends money when she can, but it's never enough. I'm sick now and can't work anymore. That's why Izzy started asking for food. Rose, why didn't you come to me sooner? I could have helped. Helped how? You were a wreck yourself. I heard you even slept on the streets after losing the house. It was true. Michael had lost everything in the 2 years after Lucy left. The house, the car, even the restaurant had to be sold to pay debts. He'd only managed to buy back the business the year before when he finally kicked his addiction and started rebuilding his life. Things have changed, Rose. I've changed. I've been in therapy for 2 years, going to a support group for gambling addicts. I haven't placed a bet in 200 days. Rose studied him with a mix of curiosity and doubt. And what made you decide to change? Because I realized I'd lost the 2 most important people in my life over a piece of paper and some numbers. Because I woke up on a park bench one day not knowing where I was and realized I'd become a ghost. Izzy came back from the yard carrying the doll and a new drawing. Grandma, why do you look so serious? We were just talking about work, sweetheart, Rose said, smoothing the girl's hair. Mr. Peterson, can I show you my room? Rose nodded, and Michael followed Izzy down a narrow hallway. The room was tiny, with a single bed and a small wardrobe. Drawings were taped all over the walls. These are all my family pictures, Izzy said, pointing at the papers. Michael studied them. In every one there were 3 people, Izzy, Rose, and himself. There was no sign of the girl's real mother. Izzy, do you miss your mum? I do. But Grandma said she'll come back when I turn 9. And now I have you too. The girl's innocent comment deeply moved Michael. He knelt down to meet Izzy at eye level. Izzy, I want you to know you can always count on me. I'll take care of you and your grandma, okay? Promise? I promise. When they returned to the living room, Rose was preparing tea. Rose, let me help you. I can pay for a private doctor for you, and Izzy can have lunch and dinner at the restaurant every day. I won't accept charity, Michael. It's not charity, it's a debt I owe to life, and to Lucy too, in a way. Rose fell silent for a long moment. All right, but on one condition. Izzy will help at the restaurant. She's smart and can learn to do some simple tasks. Deal. From that day on, Izzy began visiting the restaurant daily. In the morning, she helped Michael set up the tables and prepare ingredients. In the afternoon, she did her homework at a back table while he cooked. Rose also started coming by, offering advice on spices and old recipes she knew. The routine brought a rhythm to Michael's life he hadn't had in years. He woke up early thinking about the breakfast he'd make for Izzy, planned the day's dishes around her favorites, and fell asleep remembering the stories she told about school and friends. A month later, on a Saturday morning, Michael was baking a carrot cake when he heard Izzy talking to someone at the restaurant door. No, sir. Mr. Michael isn't doing anything wrong to me. Michael set down the cake pan and went to see what was happening. At the door stood a man in a suit he didn't recognize. Can I help you? He asked. Are you Michael Peterson? Yes. What's the issue? I'm a social worker from the city. We received an anonymous complaint that a child is working illegally at this establishment. Michael's heart raced. He looked at Izzy, who was clutching her doll to her chest with a frightened expression. There's no child labor here. Izzy is like a daughter to me. She just keeps me company. I'll need to speak with her privately. Of course, Izzy, go talk with the man. Tell him everything you do here. While the social worker spoke with Izzy at a separate table, Michael tried to steady his nerves. Who could have made that complaint? He treated Izzy like a princess. He'd never made her work. After 20 minutes, the man stood and approached Michael. The girl confirms there's no child labor. She says you're very good to her and her grandmother. So, everything's settled? For now, yes, but we'll continue monitoring the situation. After the social worker left, Rose arrived at the restaurant visibly upset. Michael, I need to tell you something. I think I know who made the complaint. Who? Yesterday, a woman came to our house asking about Izzy. She said she was from the school, but something felt off. What do you mean? She asked a lot of questions about you. Wanted to know how long you'd known us, if you gave us money, if Izzy spent a lot of time at the restaurant. A chill ran down Michael's spine. What did she look like? Brunette, long hair, around 35, very well dressed. The description didn't match anyone Michael knew, but something about how Rose described the woman unsettled him. Rose, do you think this could have anything to do with Lucy? I don't know, but she specifically asked about Izzy's doll. Izzy, who had been quiet since the social worker's visit, stepped closer to them. Grandma, that woman who came yesterday, she looked like someone I've seen before. What do you mean, sweetheart? She looked like the woman in the photo you hide under the bed. Rose turned pale. What photo, Izzy? The one with a woman and a little girl. I saw it when I was looking for my ball that rolled under your bed. Michael and Rose exchanged glances. Rose took a deep breath. Michael, I think it's time you knew the whole truth. They closed the restaurant and went to Rose's house. There, she went to her room and returned with a shoebox. Lucy left this with me before she left. She asked me to keep it and only show it if you ever came looking for them. Inside the box were several photographs of Sophie at different ages, some letters written by Lucy, and a sealed envelope with Michael's name on it. With trembling hands, Michael opened the envelope and read the letter. Michael, if you're reading this, it means Rose has decided you've truly changed. When I left with Sophie, it wasn't just because of the debts or the gambling addiction. It was because I discovered something that made me lose all trust in you. 2 weeks before I left, I found messages on your phone that you exchanged with other gamblers. In one of them, you said if you had to choose between Sophie and $1 million bet, you'd choose the bet because you could always have another Sophie. But that chance would never come again. Maybe you were joking or exaggerating, but a mother can't take that risk. I took Sophie to protect her from a side of you I didn't know. Rose will keep Sophie's doll. If you ever want to find me, she knows how. But only come looking if you're absolutely certain you'd put Sophie first in every decision of your life. With love, Lucy. Tears streamed down Michael's face. He vaguely remembered that conversation, but at the time, he was so consumed by gambling that he said things without thinking. Rose, do you know where they are? I do. But Lucy made me promise I'd only reveal their whereabouts if I was sure you'd changed. And are you? Rose looked at Izzy, who was playing with the doll on the couch. Look at how you treat Izzy. Look at how much you care for her. You put her first without even knowing if she was really your daughter. That tells me everything about who you've become. So you'll tell me where they are? I will. But first, there's something else you need to know. Rose took one of the photographs from the box and showed it to Michael. It was Sophie at 4 years old holding the doll. Look closely at this picture, Michael. He looked but didn't understand what Rose wanted him to see. Now look at Izzy. Michael glanced at the girl on the couch and then back at the photo. Slowly, a suspicion formed in his mind. Rose, Izzy isn't my biological granddaughter, Michael. She is Lucy's daughter, yes, but Lucy is Lucy. She changed her name when she arrived here. The world stopped. Michael's legs felt weak. Are you saying that Izzy is Sophie? Lucy changed her name too, to protect her, and she altered her own appearance. She came back to Sanders 3 years ago when she heard I was sick. She asked me to take care of Izzy without telling anyone the truth. But Izzy didn't recognize me. She was 4 when they left, and Lucy always told her that her father had left before she was born. To Izzy, you're a new person in her life. Michael looked at the little girl humming softly as she played. His daughter, Sophie. She had been there all along and he hadn't realized. Where is Lucy now? She works at the Central Hospital of Chicago. She can only come back every 2 months to see Izzy. That's why she agreed to leave her with me. Rose, why didn't you tell me sooner? Because I needed to be sure. Lucy suffered so much, Michael. She needed to know you wouldn't hurt Sophie again. Dear listener, if you're enjoying the story, please take a moment to like and especially subscribe to the channel. It helps us newcomers a lot. Now continuing, Michael slowly approached Izzy. She looked up from her doll and smiled. Mr. Michael, are you crying? I'm just a little emotional, Izzy. Why? Michael glanced at Rose, who nodded. Izzy, I need to tell you something very important. You're a very special girl to me. I really like you too. What if I told you you're even more special than you think? Izzy tilted her head, curious. Izzy, I'm your father. The girl blinked several times as if processing the information. My dad? But Grandma said my dad left before I was born. Your grandma was trying to protect me. But I never left, Izzy. I just didn't know where you were. So, you're really my dad? I am, and you're my daughter, Sophie. But my name is Izzy. Isabella Sophie. That's always been your full name. Your mum just started calling you by your first name. Izzy looked at the doll, then at Michael. That's why Lily likes you so much. She knew you were my dad. Michael smiled through his tears. Maybe she did. Can I call you Dad? You can call me whatever you want, my dear. Izzy ran into Michael's arms and hugged him tightly. He held her close, feeling a 5-year void finally being filled. Dad, will you live with us now? If you and your mum want me to, yes. I do. Then we can take care of Grandma Rose together. Rose wiped her tears. Michael, you need to talk to Lucy before telling Sophie anything. She has a right to know you found out the truth. How can I reach her? She's coming next weekend. She visits whenever she can. The next 2 days were a mix of anxiety and happiness for Michael. He couldn't stop looking at Izzy, searching for traces of the little girl he'd lost 5 years ago. Her eyes were the same, the way she tilted her head when thinking, how she hugged the doll when sleepy. On Friday night, Rose got a call from Lucy saying she'd arrive Saturday morning. Michael barely slept. On Saturday, he was at the restaurant trying to focus when he heard footsteps at the door. He looked up and saw a brunette woman with long hair, thinner than he remembered but with the same gentle smile he'd fallen for years ago. Lucy. Michael. They stared silently for a few seconds. Rose told me you found out about Sophie. Why didn't you look for me, Lou? Why let her think I abandoned you? Because I was scared. Scared you hadn't really changed. Scared to give our daughter to someone who might hurt her again. I'd never hurt Sophie. You once said you'd choose a bet over our daughter. Michael lowered his head. I was sick, Lou. Addiction made me say and do terrible things. But I've changed. I go to therapy, support groups, haven't gambled in over 3 years. Rose told me. She also told me how you treat Sophie. Where were you all these years? Lucy sat at a table and told her story. After leaving Sanders, they went to Milwaukee, where she found work as a hospital cleaner. She changed her name to Lucy Sanders and registered Sophie as Isabella Lucy Sanders. For 2 years, they lived peacefully, but when Rose got sick, Lucy decided to return to Sanders to care for the mother-in-law she'd always seen as a mother. I got a job at the Central Hospital of Chicago. It's far, but pays better. I leave Sophie with Rose during the week and visit on weekends. Lou, I want you both to come home. I want us to try again. Michael, so much has changed. I've changed too. I'm not the same woman who left here 5 years ago. I know, and I'm not the same man either. But we're Sophie's parents. She needs both of us. She's happy the way things are. Rose takes good care of her. But Rose is sick, and Sophie deserves to have both parents in her life. Lucy fell silent, staring out the window. Did you ever think about us? About Sophie? Every day. Not a single day went by without me thinking of you. When I managed to buy back the restaurant, it was with the hope that maybe one day you'd return and find the place you remembered. What if I said I need time to think? I'd wait as long as necessary. Just then, Izzy came running from Rose's house. "Mommy!" she shouted, jumping into Lucy's arms. "Hi, sweetheart. How are you?" "I'm great. And guess what? Your Michael is my dad." Lucy looked over her daughter's head at Michael. "Rose told you?" "Yes. And now we're going to be a family again." "Sophie, you can call me Izzy, Mommy. I like both names." "Izzy, your dad and I need to talk a lot before we decide anything. But you're going to say yes, right?" Lucy smiled for the first time since she'd arrived. "We'll see, my love." Over the weekend, Michael, Lucy, and Izzy spent time together at the restaurant and at Rose's house. It felt strange yet familiar. Izzy was overjoyed to have both parents there, and gradually, Michael and Lucy began to reconnect. On Sunday evening, when it was time for Lucy to return to Chicago, Izzy threw a fit. "I don't want Mommy to leave, I want her to stay here with us." "Sweetie, Mommy has to work." "But Daddy works here. Why can't Mommy work here too?" Michael looked at Lucy. "Actually, I had a proposal in mind. Lou, would you like to be my partner at the restaurant?" "What do you mean?" "You've always been good in the kitchen. We could expand the menu, start delivery, turn this into a real family business." "Michael, this is so sudden." "It doesn't have to be as husband and wife, just as partners and Sophie's parents." "Izzy's," the little girl corrected. "Izzy's," Michael repeated, smiling. Lucy thought for a moment. "And where would I live?" "There's a small apartment behind the restaurant. You and Izzy could stay there, Rose too if she wants. What about our past problems? We'll work through them by talking, like adults, for our daughter's sake." Izzy looked back and forth between them, her eyes shining with hope. "Please, Mommy, please." Lucy picked her daughter up and held her tight. "All right, we'll try." Izzy squealed with joy and called Rose to share the news. The older woman came from the kitchen, wiping her hands on her apron. "So you've decided?" "We're going to try rebuilding our family, Rose," Michael said. "That's all I wanted to hear." That night, after Izzy fell asleep, Michael and Lucy talked late into the evening in Rose's living room. They spoke about past mistakes, hopes for the future, and how they'd raise Izzy together. "Michael, I need you to understand one thing. If you gamble again, even once, I'll take Sophie away, and you'll never see us again. I understand, and I accept. And I need you to do family therapy with me, so we can learn to be parents together again. Deal? And I want us to make it clear to Sophie that Mommy and Daddy are friends who live together, but won't necessarily be husband and wife again. Got it? No pressure. No pressure." 2 weeks later, Lucy returned to Sanders with her few belongings. Izzy couldn't stop smiling. Rose had agreed to move into the apartment behind the restaurant, which Michael had quickly renovated to accommodate the 3 most important women in his life. On the first day working together, Michael noticed how much Lucy had matured. She had innovative ideas for the menu, knew how to deal with suppliers, and had endless patience with customers. Izzy helped by organizing tables and making drawings to decorate the walls. "Dad, do you think we could make a play area for kids while their parents eat?" "That's a great idea, Izzy." "And what about special lunches for seniors?" suggested Lucy. "With lighter meals and special prices." "Perfect. Rose can help with the recipes." The restaurant began to thrive. The food regained its flavor and care. Old customers returned, and new ones kept coming. Izzy made sure to tell everyone that this was her family's restaurant. 6 months later, on a Saturday afternoon, while Michael was closing the register and Lucy was organizing the kitchen for the next day, Izzy approached with her doll in hand. "Dad, Lily wants to know something." "What does Lily want to know?" "She wants to know if you and Mom will get married again." Michael looked at Lucy, who had stopped what she was doing. "And what did you tell Lily?" "I said I don't know, but it would be cool." "Izzy, your parents need to get to know each other again before thinking about that," said Lucy. "But who knows, maybe one day, right?" Lily said hope springs eternal. Michael and Lucy laughed. "Lily is very wise," said Michael. "That's why I like her so much. Mom made a good choice when she gave her to me." Lucy knelt in front of her daughter. "Izzy, are you happy like this, with Dad, Mom, and Grandma Rose all living together?" "I'm the happiest girl in the world. We're a real family now. And if one day Dad and Mom decide to get married again, then I'll be even happier, but only if you really want to, not because of me." Michael was moved by his daughter's maturity. "How did you get so smart, Izzy?" "Grandma Rose says kids who go through hard times grow up faster." And she's right. That night, after Izzy fell asleep, Michael and Lucy walked to the square near the restaurant. It was the first time they'd been alone since she had returned. "Lou, can I ask you something?" "Of course." Can you really forgive me for the mistakes I made? Lucy thought for a moment. Michael, I forgave you a long time ago. What I'm still learning is to trust again. And how can I help you trust? Keep being the man you've become. Keep putting Sophie first. Keep being present and responsible. And if I do that, is there a chance we could be husband and wife again one day? Lucy smiled. There is, but no rush, okay? Let things happen naturally. No rush. They walked home holding hands for the first time in over 5 years. A year later, on a Sunday morning, Izzy was helping Michael bake a cake when Rose came into the kitchen with a strange expression. Michael, there's a woman at the door asking for you, says she's a social worker. Michael's heart raced. He remembered the anonymous complaint from the year before. What does she want? She didn't say, but she looked serious. Michael went to the restaurant door, where he found a middle-aged woman with a folder in her hand. Mr. Michael Peterson. That's me. I'm Sandra Wilson, a social worker. I'd like to speak with you about Isabella Sophie. Did something happen? May I come in? They sat at a table, and the woman opened the folder. Mr. Peterson, we received a complaint that the child living here may be in an irregular situation. What do you mean irregular? Izzy is my daughter. Yes, but the documents show she was registered as the mother's child only. There's no recognized paternity. Michael felt the ground disappear beneath his feet. It was true. When Lucy registered Izzy with the new name, she didn't include Michael as the father. This can be fixed, right? Yes, but there's a process to follow, and in the meantime, I need to assess if the child is in a suitable environment. Lucy appeared at the kitchen door. Can I know what's going on? The social worker explained the situation. Lucy turned pale. How long does this process take? It could take a few months, and during that time, the child might need to stay with a temporary family. No way, said Michael. Izzy stays here. Mr. Peterson, I understand your concern, but there's a protocol to follow. Izzy came running from the kitchen. Dad, the cake is burning. The social worker looked at the girl and then at Michael. She calls you Dad. She does because I am her dad. But legally. Legally, we'll fix it. But emotionally, spiritually, in every way that matters, I'm Izzy's father. The social worker talked to Izzy for a few minutes, asking if she felt safe, if she liked living there, if she had everything she needed. The girl answered every question with certainty. Miss, my dad and mum take really good care of me, and Grandma Rose too. We're a happy family. And would you like to keep living here? Of course, this is my home. The social worker wrote a few things in her folder. I'll recommend the child stays with the family while the paternity recognition process moves forward, but you need to get a lawyer as soon as possible. After the woman left, Michael and Lucy hugged in relief. Lou, who could have made this complaint? I don't know. But what matters is, we got it sorted. We'll find a lawyer first thing tomorrow. 3 months later, the paternity recognition process was completed. Izzy was finally legally registered as the daughter of Michael Peterson and Lucy Sanders Peterson. Dad, am I officially your daughter now? Now you're officially my daughter. And can we change my last name? What would you like it to be? Isabella Sophie Peterson. That way it's just like the name you gave me when I was born. At the registry office, when the clerk handed over the new birth certificate, Izzy held the document like it was a treasure. Dad, now no one can say you're not my real dad. Never again, my girl. That night, while the family celebrated at the restaurant, Rose approached Michael. You know it was your old partner's ex-wife who made those complaints, right? How do you know? She showed up here the other day bragging, said she wanted to teach you a lesson for causing her husband's bankruptcy years ago. Michael remembered his old partner, Carl, who had lost a lot of money when the restaurant was sold to pay off Michael's gambling debts. She didn't accomplish anything, Rose. The family is stronger than ever. That's what matters. 2 years passed. The Home Flavor restaurant had become a neighborhood favorite. Izzy, now 11, still helped out and could already make a few simple dishes. Rose, though her health was fragile, was the heart of the business, telling stories to customers and teaching Lucy old recipes. One Thursday afternoon, Michael was trying out a new recipe when Izzy came running home from school. Dad, guess what? What is it, Izzy? The teacher picked our family to do a presentation on families who overcame challenges. Really? She said our story is inspiring, that it shows how love can rebuild anything. Michael smiled, moved. And what will you say in the presentation? I'll tell how we got lost and found each other again, how you changed, how Mom came back, how Grandma Rose took care of everyone, and how Lily was so important in bringing our family together. Lily? If it weren't for her, you would never have recognized me that first day. It was true. The doll had been the thread connecting the past to the present, the element that allowed the family to reunite. On the night of the school presentation, the whole family went to watch Izzy. She spoke confidently and proudly about her story, moving the audience. At the end, she called Michael, Lucy, and Rose to the stage. This is my family. It isn't perfect, but it's ours, and I wouldn't trade it for anything. The applause was long and warm. Several people approached afterward to congratulate the family for their courage and determination. On the way home, Izzy held the doll and whispered to it, "Lily, thank you for helping me find my dad. Now you can rest. Your mission is complete." Michael heard her and smiled. His daughter was growing up, but she still held on to the sweetness and wisdom that made her special. 6 months later, on a Saturday morning, Michael woke up to noise in the kitchen. He went downstairs and found Lucy preparing a special breakfast. "What are we celebrating?" he asked. 3 years since we found each other again." "Has it really been that long?" "It has. And I was thinking..." "About what?" "About how our lives have changed, how we became a real family again." Michael stepped closer and hugged Lucy from behind. "Lu, can I ask you something?" "Of course." "Do you still feel like you need more time to trust me?" Lucy turned in his arms. "Michael, I've trusted you for a long time. What I was waiting for was to be sure you love me for who I am now, not just the memory of who I was before." "And are you sure?" "I am. The way you look at me, the way you treat me, the way you take care of our family. I'm sure. So I think it's time we made it official again." Izzy appeared in the kitchen in her pajamas, the doll tucked under her arm. "Are you guys talking about getting married?" Michael and Lucy laughed. "How do you always know everything?" Lucy asked. "Lily told me. She said you're in love again. And what do you think about that?" "I think it's great. Then I can be your flower girl." "Who said there's going to be a wedding?" Michael teased. "Dad, of course there is. You can't waste an opportunity like this." Rose appeared in the kitchen doorway. "What are you all talking about?" "A wedding, Grandma. My parents are getting married again." "It's about time," Rose said, smiling. 6 months later, on a Sunday afternoon, the Home Flavor restaurant was decorated with flowers and filled with friends and customers who had followed the family's journey. Michael and Lucy married in a simple, heartfelt ceremony. Izzy was the flower girl, carrying the Lily doll along with the rings. Rose was the matron of honor, proud to have been part of rebuilding that family. During the celebration, Izzy approached her parents. "Now we're really a complete family, right?" "We've always been a complete family, Izzy," Michael said. "We just took some time to find each other again." "And are you going to have more kids?" Michael and Lucy exchanged a glance, smiling. "Maybe. What do you think?" "I think it'd be nice to have a little brother or sister. Then I can teach them everything I've learned from you." "And what have you learned?" Lucy asked. "That family isn't just who lives in the same house. It's who cares for each other, who forgives mistakes, who stays together through hard times, and that sometimes we have to get lost to learn how to appreciate what we have." Rose wiped tears from her eyes. This girl was born wise. That night, after all the guests had left and the restaurant was clean, the family gathered in the back room. Izzy was tired but didn't want to go to bed. "Dad, can I ask you something?" "Of course, sweetheart." "Do you regret anything that happened?" Michael thought for a moment. "I regret the mistakes I made and the pain I caused you, but I don't regret the journey that brought us here, because it taught me to value what truly matters. And what truly matters, and family, love, being present in the lives of the people we love. Izzy smiled and hugged the doll. Did you hear that, Lily? Daddy learned his lesson. Michael picked up his daughter. Izzy, you want to know something? That day you walked into the restaurant with Lily, you saved more than just getting food. You saved an entire family. How so? You gave me a reason to be a better person. You brought your mom back. You brought us together again. It wasn't just me. Lily helped too. That's true. Lily was very important. That's why I'll never let her go. She's the symbol of our family. The next day, Michael had an idea. He took a beautiful frame and placed a family photo with the Lily doll inside. Under the photo, he wrote, "Here, we share more than food. We share life and second chances." The frame was placed at the restaurant's entrance so all customers could see it. Many people asked about the story behind the photo, and Izzy made sure to tell them how the doll had reunited her family. 2 years later, on a Tuesday morning, Izzy came home from school with news. "Dad, Mom, I have something to tell you." "What is it?" they both asked at the same time. "The school principal wants to make a documentary about our story. She said it could inspire other families." "A documentary?" "Yes, she wants to film here at the restaurant, tell how we found each other again, and show what our life is like now." Michael and Lucy looked at each other. "What do you think?" Lucy asked. "If our story can help others, it's worth it," said Michael. "So, are you in?" "We're in," they answered together. 3 months later, the documentary, The Doll That Reunited a Family, was finished. It was first shown at Izzy's school, then used in social projects about family reconciliation and overcoming addiction. The family received hundreds of letters from people who connected with their story. Many shared their own experiences of separation and reconciliation. Others asked for advice on dealing with addiction and family struggles. "Dad, did you know our story was helping so many people?" Izzy asked. "I had no idea, but I'm glad our experience can make a difference in other families' lives. My teacher said she's organizing a support group for families here in the neighborhood. Would you be willing to help?" "Of course, it would be an honor." The support group met at the restaurant on Tuesday nights after closing. Michael and Lucy shared their experience with other families facing similar challenges. Rose also joined, offering wisdom from her many years of life. "The important thing," Michael told the group, "is to never give up. No matter how lost things seem, there's always a chance to start over." "And forgiveness," Lucy added, "is essential. Not just forgiving others, but forgiving yourself too." Izzy sometimes joined, sharing how hard but rewarding it had been to see her parents reconcile. "The hardest part," she said, "was learning to trust again. But when you truly love someone, it's worth trying." On the 5th anniversary of their reunion, they held a special celebration at the restaurant. They invited all their friends, customers, and families they'd met through the support group. During the party, Michael asked for everyone's attention. "I want to thank all of you who've been part of this journey. 5 years ago, I was a lost man, destroyed by addiction. Today, I'm a father, a husband, an adoptive grandfather to Rose, a business owner, and most of all, a person at peace with myself. This transformation was only possible because I learned some important lessons. First, it's never too late to change. Second, family isn't about perfection, it's about persistence. Third, sometimes we need to lose everything to discover what truly matters." The applause was emotional. Izzy approached her father. "Dad, can I speak too?" "Of course, sweetheart." Izzy climbed onto a chair so everyone could see her. "I want to talk about Lily," she said, holding the doll. "She might seem like just an old toy, but to our family, she's so much more. She's a symbol that the most important things in life can't be bought or sold. Lily taught me that true love doesn't disappear, it just waits for the right time to return. She taught me that family is who stands by your side when you need them most. And she taught me that miracles happen every day. We just need to pay attention to see them." When Izzy finished speaking, there wasn't a dry eye in the restaurant. Rose approached her adoptive granddaughter. "Izzy, you've grown so much. but you're still the wise girl I met. I learned from the best, Grandma. That night, after everyone had left, the family gathered as they always did. Izzy was packing her things for bed when she stopped and looked at the doll. Lily, thank you for taking care of our family all these years. Now you can rest. Your mission is complete. She placed the doll on a special shelf Michael had made, alongside family photos from different moments. Izzy, won't you sleep with Lily anymore? Asked Lucy. I don't need to, Mom. Now I sleep peacefully knowing our family is safe. Michael hugged his daughter. You've grown up, my girl. I have. But I'll never forget where I came from or how I got here. And we'll never forget that you were the one who taught us the true meaning of family. That night, Michael and Lucy talked on the restaurant's back porch, gazing at the stars. Lou, are you happy? I am, completely happy. And you? Happier than I ever imagined I could be. Do you think our family's story is over? I think it's just beginning. We have many years ahead, and maybe more children to raise. That would be nice, wouldn't it? Giving Izzy siblings. It would be wonderful. They fell silent for a moment, savoring the evening's peace. Michael, can I ask you something? Of course. If you could go back in time and avoid all the problems we had, would you do it? Michael thought for a long moment. No, because if I avoided the problems, I might never have learned the lessons I did. I might never have become the man I am today. Our family might not be as close as we are now. I feel the same way. The hardships we faced made us stronger and taught us to cherish every moment together. The next morning, Izzy woke early and went to the kitchen, where she found her parents making breakfast together. Good morning, family. Good morning, sweetheart, they replied in unison. You know what? I dreamed about Lily last night. What did she say? Michael asked playfully. She said she's very proud of our family, and that now she can rest in peace, knowing we've fulfilled our mission on Earth. What mission? To show the world that love always wins, that family is sacred, and that we should never give up on each other. Lucy hugged her daughter. Lily is very wise. She is. That's why I chose her to be my favorite doll. You chose her? Of course, Mom. The day you gave her to me, I had a feeling she'd be special, and I was right. Michael smiled. You've always been special, Izzy. The doll just helped us see it. Dad, can I tell you a secret? Go ahead. I always knew you were my father, from the first day I walked into the restaurant. What do you mean? Because you looked at me the same way Grandma Rose said my father would if he ever found me. And how was that look? With so much love and longing at the same time. Michael felt his eyes grow moist. You're incredible, my daughter. I got it from my parents. That morning, as they prepared the restaurant for another day of work, the family talked and laughed as they always did. Customers began arriving, greeting everyone like family. Mr. Peterson, said Mrs. Mary, a regular customer. How's our girl today? Growing and getting smarter every day, Mrs. Mary. And her doll? Didn't bring it today? Lily is resting at home, Izzy replied. She's already done her job. What job? Bringing our family back together. Mrs. Mary smiled. That girl has wisdom many adults don't. During lunch, a young couple entered the restaurant. They seemed tense and sad. Can we sit here? The woman asked. Of course, said Lucy. What would you like to eat? As they prepared the order, Michael noticed the couple arguing quietly. The woman was crying, and the man looked desperate. Izzy approached the table with their plates. Is everything okay with you? She asked naturally. The couple exchanged glances, surprised by the girl's direct question. We're going through some difficulties, the woman said. What kind of difficulties? Izzy, Lucy called, thinking her daughter was being intrusive. It's fine, the man said. We're thinking of separating. We've had some problems. Financial struggles, arguments. I think it's over. Izzy sat in the empty chair at their table. Do you love each other? The simple question left the couple speechless. Love sometimes isn't enough, the woman said. Yes, it is, Izzy said firmly. My parents separated too. They were apart for 5 years. But the love was always there, waiting. How did you get back together, the man asked. They learned that family is more important than any problem, and that you can always start over as long as you really want to. Michael walked over to the table. My daughter is right. My wife and I had many problems in the past. I had a gambling addiction. We lost everything. She left with Izzy. But when we decided our family was worth more than any hardship, we rebuilt everything. And now you're happy? The woman asked. We are. That doesn't mean we don't have problems, but we face them together. The couple fell silent for a moment. Maybe we're giving up too soon, the man said. Maybe, the woman agreed. If you'd like to talk more about it, we have a support group for families here every Tuesday, Lucy said. You're welcome to join. Thank you, I think we'll consider it. When the couple left, they seemed more hopeful than when they'd arrived. Izzy, you did something beautiful today, Michael said. I just told the truth, Dad. If our family could rebuild, other families can too. You're right. That Tuesday, the young couple showed up at the support group. In the following weeks, they began working through their problems and rebuilding their relationship. 6 months later, they returned to the restaurant to share that they had fully reconciled. It was that little girl who saved our marriage, the woman told Michael. Her words made us realize we couldn't give up. Izzy has that gift, Michael said proudly. She sees what really matters. Stories like this became common at Home Flavor. The restaurant turned into a gathering place for people who needed hope, a kind word, or proof that starting over was possible. One day, a reporter from the local TV station came wanting to do a story on the restaurant that saved families. How do you do it? Asked the reporter. We don't do anything extraordinary, said Lucy. We just share our experience and offer a place where people feel welcome. And the girl? Does she really talk to people about family problems? Izzy has a special sensitivity, said Michael. She's lived through the pain of separation and the joy of reconciliation herself. That makes her able to help others. Can I speak with her? Izzy appeared with the doll in her hand. Are you the man from the TV? Yes, I'd like to ask a few questions about the work you do here. It's not work, said Izzy. It's love. How so? When you truly love someone, you want them to be happy. And when you see you can help others be as happy as you are, you help naturally. And your doll, what's her importance in this story? Izzy looked at Lily. Lily taught me that some objects carry a lot of love. She carried the love my mother had for me, the love my father had for our family, and the love we all have for each other. And today, is she still important? Today, she's a symbol. She's there on the shelf to remind everyone that miracles exist and families can be rebuilt. The report aired the following week and caused a big stir. The restaurant started receiving visitors from other towns who came to meet the Dolls family. Dad, do you think we're becoming famous? Asked Izzy. I think we're becoming an example, sweetheart, and that's a big responsibility. How so? It means we have to keep being a real, united family, so people keep believing it's possible. We'll always be like this, Dad, because we've learned that family is the most precious thing we have in life. 2 years later, on the 7th anniversary of the family's reunion, they organized a special celebration. They invited all the families they'd helped over the years, all the friends from the support group and the whole neighborhood. During the party, Michael gave an emotional speech. 7 years ago, a barefoot girl walked into my restaurant offering a doll in exchange for a plate of food. I never imagined that moment would change my life forever. Today, looking at all of you here, I see our story has become much bigger than we thought. It's not just about our family anymore, it's about the whole human family. We've learned that we all have a symbolic doll inside us, something that carries love, hope, and the chance for a new beginning. And when we share that love with others, we multiply its strength. The applause was long and heartfelt. Izzy approached her father. Dad, can I say something? Of course, sweetheart. I want to announce that I'm giving Lily to a child who needs her. Silence filled the room. What do you mean, Izzy? Yesterday, I met a girl at school who's going through the same thing I did. Her parents split up and she's really sad. I think Lily can help her like she helped me." Michael felt his chest tighten. "But Lily is yours. Dad, you taught me that real love is when you want what's best for others, even if it means giving up something of your own. Lily fulfilled her mission with me. Now it's her turn to help another child." Lucy came over and hugged her daughter. "Are you sure?" "I am. And I know Lily agrees too." The next day, Izzy took the doll to school. That afternoon, she came home smiling. "How did it go?" asked Michael. "Caroline was so happy. She promised to take good care of Lily." "And you? Weren't you sad?" "A little. But I was happy too, because now I know Lily will keep spreading love and bringing families together." "You've grown so much, my girl." "I have, but I'll always be your little girl." 6 months later, Caroline's mother showed up at the restaurant with her daughter. "I came to thank you," said the woman. "I don't know how to explain it, but after Caroline got that doll, she became stronger, more confident, and that gave me the courage to talk to my ex-husband about the possibility of trying again." "And how did it go?" asked Lucy. "We're in couples therapy. It's hard, but we're trying. Caroline says the doll brings good luck." Izzy smiled. "It's not luck, it's love. Lily carries so much love." Stories like this kept happening. The doll passed from child to child, always at times when families were facing difficulties, and somehow she always helped bring hope and unity. "Dad," Izzy said one afternoon 3 years later, "do you think Lily still exists?" "What do you mean? Hasn't she worn out from being passed around so much?" Michael smiled. "Izzy, the real Lily isn't made of cloth, she's made of love, and love doesn't wear out. The more you share it, the stronger it gets. So Lily is indestructible. Her essence is, and that essence lives in every family she's helped, every child she's comforted, every parent she's inspired not to give up. Including us. Especially us." That night, Izzy wrote in her diary, "Dear Lily, today marks 3 years since I gave you to Caroline. Since then, you've been with 7 different families. They all sent letters telling me how you helped them. I don't miss you physically anymore because I've learned you're still with me in other ways. You're in the way my dad looks at my mom. You're in the way our family loves each other. You're in every family we've helped at the restaurant. Thank you for being my first teacher about true love. I promise to keep spreading your lessons wherever I go. With eternal love, Isabella Sophie Peterson." The next day, Izzy showed the text to her parents. "This should be a book," said Lucy. "You think so?" "I do. Your story with Lily could inspire so many other children and families. Dad, would you help me write a book?" "It would be an honor, sweetheart." They spent the next months working on the doll that taught love. Izzy told the stories, Michael helped organize the chapters, and Lucy edited the text. When the book was finished, they decided to self-publish and donate all profits to organizations supporting vulnerable families. The launch was held at the restaurant, with a party that brought the whole community together. The first copy was sold to Mrs. Mary, the oldest customer. "This book will help so many people," she said, flipping through the pages. "We hope so," Izzy replied. "The idea is for people to realize everyone has a special doll inside them. Sometimes it's a photograph, sometimes a song, sometimes a memory. What matters is recognizing the love those things carry and sharing it with others." The book was a local success. The sales allowed the family to donate to 3 organizations working on family reunification and at-risk children. 2 years later, on a fall afternoon, Izzy was studying at the restaurant table when a woman walked in with a little girl. "Good afternoon," the woman said. "Are you the family from the doll book?" "We are," Izzy answered, looking up from her notebook. "My daughter really wanted to meet you. We read the book together and she loved the story." The little girl stepped forward shyly. "Are you the Izzy from the book?" "I am. What's your name?" "Mary Louise, but everyone calls me Molly." "That's a beautiful name, Molly. Where's the Lily doll?" Izzy smiled. "Lily is out there spreading love. But can I tell you a secret?" The girl nodded, curious. "You have a Lily too." "I do, Everyone does. It's that special thing that reminds you of your family's love. It could be a toy, a photo, a song, and what's special to you? Molly thought for a moment. My baby blanket. I sleep with it every night. There, that's your lily. It carries all the love your mother feels for you. The girl smiled, hugging her mom. Mom, my blanket is a lily. Yes, it is, sweetheart. After mother and daughter left, Michael approached Izzy. You're still spreading wisdom everywhere. I learned from the best, Dad, and you learned well. That night during family dinner, Rose brought up an idea. Have you ever thought our story could be a movie? A movie? Asked Lucy. Why not? It's a beautiful, true story that could inspire so many people. It would be interesting, said Michael, but it'd have to be a film that honors the truth of our experience and shows that miracles happen in real life, added Izzy. Let's look into it, said Lucy. 6 months later, an independent filmmaker took interest in the story and proposed a documentary about the family. The filming process took 3 months and resulted in a touching, heartfelt film screened at festivals across the country. Dad, Izzy said at the premiere, did you ever imagine our story would go this far? Never. But I've learned that when you live with love and authenticity, good things happen naturally. What do you hope people feel when they watch it? I hope they feel hope, that they see no matter how lost they are, it's always possible to start over. The film won several awards at regional festivals and was distributed free to schools and social organizations. At one screening held at Izzy's old school, a father approached her afterward. My daughter, I want to thank you. My marriage was falling apart, but after watching the film, my wife and I decided to try again. How are things now? Tough, but promising. We're in therapy and rediscovering our love. I'm so glad. Remember, family takes daily work, but it's worth it. I will, thank you. Conversations like this became frequent in Izzy's life. By 16, she'd grown into a wise, charismatic young woman, deeply connected to family values. Izzy, Lucy said one afternoon, have you thought about your future? I want to work with families, maybe psychology, maybe social work. I want to help others like we were helped. What about the restaurant? The restaurant will always be our foundation, but I think my calling is bigger. Michael smiled. You've always known your purpose, even as a child. Life taught me early that we're all connected, that one family's pain can be healed by another's love. 2 years later, Izzy was accepted into psychology at a university in Sanders. She chose to study close to home to stay involved with the restaurant and support group. Dad, can I make a proposal? Of course, honey. What if we turn the support group into a formal non-profit? We could help more families and secure resources to expand. That's a wonderful idea. What would we call it? The Lily Foundation, in honor of our special doll. Perfect. The creation of the Lily Foundation marked a milestone for the family. The non-profit began offering free family therapy, specialized support groups, and programs to prevent gaming addiction and other family-destroying issues. Izzy split her time between studies and volunteering at the foundation. Michael and Lucy kept running the restaurant, which became the unofficial headquarters. Sweetheart, Rose said one afternoon, you've become exactly what I imagined. What did you imagine? A strong, generous woman who uses her own pain to heal others. I learned from you, Grandma, and from your parents, and from life. On the 10th anniversary of the family's reunion, they threw a big party that brought together over 200 people. There were families they had helped over the years, professionals who worked at the foundation, and friends from the community. During the celebration, a special surprise, Caroline, the girl who had received the Lily doll from Izzy, showed up with her reconciled parents and a box in her hands. Izzy, I came to give Lily back to you. Why? Because she fulfilled her mission. My parents got back together, my family is happy. Now, I want you to keep her forever. Izzy opened the box and saw the doll, a little more worn, but still carrying that special charm. Thank you, Caroline, but now Lily has a special place to stay. Where? At the Lily Foundation. She'll be at the reception so every family who walks in can see that miracles are possible. That's a wonderful idea. At the end of the party, when everyone had left, The family gathered in the apartment's living room as they always did. "Dad," Izzy said, "can you believe what our family has become?" "Sometimes it feels like a dream," Michael replied. 10 years ago, I was broken, without hope. Now we're a strong family helping other families." "And it all started with a doll," Lucy said. "No," Izzy corrected. "It all started with love. The doll was just the tool." Rose smiled. "This girl never stops amazing me." "Grandma, can I tell you something?" "Of course, sweetheart. I don't remember the time before I knew my dad, but I remember perfectly the day he recognized me as his daughter. It was the happiest day of my life." Michael felt tears streaming down his face. "For me too, my girl. And you know what? I'm sure our story isn't over yet. We're still going to help many more families. We're still going to share so many special moments together." "Absolutely," Lucy said. "This family is just beginning to write its story." Izzy stood up and walked to the shelf where the Lily doll sat. "Thank you, Lily. Thank you for being the first step on our journey back home." She kissed the doll and placed it back. "Now you can rest in peace. Your family is safe and happy." That night, everyone went to bed with peace in their hearts. Outside, the rain fell gently over Sanders, washing the streets and preparing the ground for a new day. At the Home Flavor restaurant, the sign at the entrance read, "Here we share more than food, we share life and second chances." And in the reception area of the Lily Foundation, a well-worn doll in a faded blue dress smiled at everyone who came seeking hope, carrying in her cloth arms all the love of a family that learned it's never too late to start over. End of story. Now tell us what you thought of this heartwarming story of family rebuilding. Do you believe love can truly overcome any obstacle? Share your thoughts in the comments and don't forget to like this story. Subscribe to the channel so you won't miss other touching tales that warm the heart.